Good afternoon to you. We're going to start with this. Former creche worker Nelly Senwametsi has been sent to prison for 5 years for assaulting children. A graphic video of her beating children on separate occasions at the Ninny's Neurons Nursery School went viral. Rights groups are not happy. They wanted a 10-year sentence. Let's begin the bulletin with eNCA's Lindokuhle Xulu, who joins us with the details. So, Linda, good afternoon to you. Give us the backstory first, and how did this unfold in court today?
Well, Jeremy, you'd remember that last year in April that there was a video, a graphic video, as you rightfully said in your intro, that had surfaced on social media of a nursery caregiver beating up toddlers. And these were three toddlers that were caught on camera. And the case had been continuing for quite some time, disturbed, of course, by COVID-19, as everything else was. But it had finally come back to court, in fact, a couple of weeks before. And there was some delays that were there, particularly with the defense, saying that they are not ready to proceed with the case as they have not been privy to some of the documents, such as the arguing heads from the prosecutor. But eventually today we were back in court and everyone seemingly was ready. And one of the things that was happening today was the mitigation and aggravation of the sentence, with the prosecution saying that Nelly Senwametsi is not remorseful, as her defense lawyer says, and that she only sorry because she got caught. But eventually, after those arguments, after those submissions from both parties, it was then that the magistrate handed down the judgment to say that he will be giving Nelly Senwametsi, the caregiver who had been seen beating up the children, a minimum sentence of 5 years. Said that 5 years in direct imprisonment is what she deserves, what she had done. But Jeremy, what we want to do right now is just to get reaction from Women and Men Against Children Abuse, which has been following this case quite closely and calling for a minimum sentence of 10 years. And we also have a parent here, also Maria, who's just going to give us a sense of what their reaction is. But let's start with Women and Men Against Children Abuse. Thank you so much, Nga, for joining us. Just give us a sense of what your reaction is. You have been calling for 10 years. They've given Usis Nelly 5 years. Just give us a sense of your reaction.
Thank you very much, Lindo. We have received the sentence with a sense of disappointment, simply because the judge deviated without any exceptional circumstances from what the legislature has deemed as a minimum sentence. That, for us as an organization, shows the minimization that society views physical abuse of children. We expect, as an organization, a message that could be communicated to say that we're going to treat physical abuse, child abuse, sexual abuse of children in our communities with the utmost punishment that is applicable as per the legislature. We were not calling for anything outside of what the law says. We were saying application of the minimum sentence is what we wanted, so that society becomes sensitized to the impact of abuse of children, especially the long-term impact as stated by Dr. D. Muller. The sentence of 5 years literally minimized the experience of the children, minimized the lifelong trauma, minimized the experience of the parents having to deal with the children. You heard what Dr. Muller said about the long-term behavioral impact this was going to have, and so it's taken away from that, and we would have wanted the justice system to uphold what the law says.
Let's bring in the parent, one of the parents here, who's been closely following this case, making sure that justice is served, and even your t-shirt says justice for children. Just give us a sense of your reaction today. 5 years, the Women and Men Against Children Abuse says they are disappointed. What is your reaction?
We also disappointed as parents, but at least we can accept that sentence as long as she's in jail, and it will send a strong message to all the caregivers of our children that we send children there to be cared for, and we love our children. But if they are going to beat them up like this, we won't tolerate that. It's I don't know. We are emotional because now we are dealing with emotional scars.
You have been with the parents of the victims, and we can't safely say that your child as well, who was at that school, was not abused. But what are the anxieties that these parents, and you included, have had to deal with in terms of finding another school to ensure that your children is safe? What are some of the measures you've taken, and also the anxieties around those?
Oh, it was difficult because I had found a creche, and then I had to move him, because now I listen more to him. If he's not happy at that school, I have to move him. because of the experience that he had. Even for the other parents, especially the ones that the children are appearing on the videos, it's traumatizing for them as well. Even if they have to do interviews, it's so traumatizing, like they cry, they are emotional because of the emotional scars that we are dealing with. And the only children that are on the videos, they are 3, but it's evident that all the children were abused. That one I am very sure of. It's only that we don't have proof. Yeah, because everything that doctor has talked about, my son is experiencing that as well.
Yeah. Right. Thank you so much for taking us through that. But Jeremy, just that last bit when she says that everything that Dr. Muller, who was the state witness, had spoken about, which is the fact that there is long-lasting trauma on these children. She says that some of the symptoms that were explained in court are some of the things that she's picking up from her child, who was not caught on camera, being abused. But the reaction to the sentence is that the 5 years, they are not satisfied with it. But one of the parents here is saying that at least she is behind bars.
All right, Lindokuhle Xulu, thank you very much.